How you doing, everybody? My name is Michael Zapsik. I'm from AMC's Comic Book Man, and you're listening to iWalter.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey, everyone, this is Walter from Yes, iWalter. Now, I'm going to try to make sure. I was listening to my show finally from a couple days ago, and it was the one. Oh, there I go again. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, I was using like at least 100 times on an hour show. So that was like at least so many every so many seconds. So I'm going to try to catch myself. It was so irritating for me even to listen to myself, more so than normally, that it's like, okay, I got to make sure that I kind of slow down my pace and don't say every, so many seconds. I'm saying it now deliberately. So I'm going to, a couple things I want to get out of the way first. I got 2 paychecks this week because my paycheck was like double, and the reason was where I work, you get, you get your vacation time and you get your personal time, which I had to save because twice during the year, once during the summer, and then once at the end of the year, we have what's called a shutdown in a department that I work in. So that being said, there I go again. That being said, I got, it was like, wow, my paycheck's like double what it normally is. So that sounds all fine and dandy, but I had to do a little bit, I didn't actually add it together, but one paycheck, my gross for the week, there I go again. My gross for the week was $745.20. Now, that was the gross for this personal time that I never was able to use since I've been out of work, so they had to pay me out. So it was $745 before taxes, and afterwards it was $470. My other one was, my gross, now get this, for the week was, let me look if I can see this correctly, $1,312.80. Now, I do pay, like I have personal loans that I'm paying back right now. They're personal loans, meaning they're from my 401k. I borrowed some money because right now, let's be honest, 401k is not making any money. So I really don't care. I'd rather borrow for myself and pay it back and hope the economy recovers someday, which I seriously doubt it. And I don't intend to retire anytime soon. But when the time comes, then I'll have some money. So out of that, there I go again. I'm going to make sure I catch myself so I stop doing that. That's the worst thing to do, because I remember when I was in college, when I had taken a speech and communications class, the last thing I wanted to do was go, It sounds really irritating. It's just redundant. It's not a good thing to do. So, I had a almost, over $1,300 paycheck after the taxes and, certain dues I have to pay. I ended up with a little over $800. So that's like $400 just in taxes on the one, and another. So I almost paid like $600-700 in taxes within just 1 week. So, to me, that's just a little ridiculous. I'd rather have more in my pocket than giving more. And where does that money go towards? And it's less irritating a little bit now because, I'm not physically at work, but when I'm at work and I'm paying at least 40% of my paycheck for, there I go again, taxes and for, other expenses. Well, where's that money go? The tax money goes to pay for people, I have not much room to speak right now, but the company, this is between me and the company I work for, this has nothing to do with taxpayers. Basically, that money is going for people not to work. And it was very irritating yesterday, to say the least. God love it. Love them. But I went to this place to get my haircut, this barber shop down on Germantown Pike. I can't remember the name, but I'm going to actually keep it out of the loop anyway. I don't want to offend, because these guys, they're young guys. They're probably in their early 20s. They know how to cut hair. They're real barbers. They're young, but they really know their shit. So that I appreciate. But seeing, no offense, but when I saw a young kid in there with his girlfriend and their kid, who's paying for that expense? Well, I hate to tell you, let's be honest, we're paying for their expenses. We're paying for them to have kids. And where's this fit in? Because I'm always being dealt the hand like I am irresponsible. I need to be more responsible. I need to pay more money. Well, apparently 40% of me paying 40% of my income in taxes is just not enough. I should be paying more. And to me, that is not fair. So now today's Valentine's, so I got to pay. I mean, again, I don't mean this. It is offensive. I can't say it any other way. But hey, it's offensive to me too. I should be held accountable for paying for people to be irresponsible. And I hear that all the time. I think I'm alone on this issue. But then I hear Rush Limbaugh talking about it. He's pretty much saying the same thing. Probably not directly the same way I am, because at least he's more concise when he speaks. He's not going, he's more precise. But come on. Either way, there I go again. So I caught myself. Either way, though, the bottom line is, the point is that I'm always being reprimanded. If I say something, here's another one of my pet peeves. This is not why I wanted to do a show again. Really, why I wanted to do a show. Wait, I have to post this on mine. It was funny. Sorry, I'm also looking at Facebook, and I actually lost the real reason why I'm doing a show today. Was it just was so heart wrenching? Was this woman who put up about her daughter, who's got some disability? I don't think it's some type of, no, she doesn't look retarded. She's a very cute young little lady, a cute little girl. Her name's Caroline, and I'll go into more depth in that in a minute, from Alabama. And this poor girl is she's basically a vegetable. She is so adorable. This girl is cute as a button, young girl, but she can't move by herself. She's pretty much comatose. She doesn't speak. She doesn't do anything. So this was the main reason I wanted to do a show today, because this mother of this cute girl started this thing at Target and other grocery markets called Caroline's Cart, which I'll go into in a minute. So I'm just going to let you know that is why I wanted to do a show today. But it gets under my skin, when you try to call friends and they don't call you back, they just totally ignore you. And the purpose is because what I say doesn't hold any ground, doesn't hold any relevance. Okay, unless you speak stuff that has some political meaning or, some type of, there I go again. So I just caught myself for the 100th time. Has some sort of, it has to, everything I have to, that comes out of my mouth. There I go again. I'm sorry, because this one person I can't stand is busting on my man of Rush Limbaugh, I can tell. So, there I go again. So I'm going to catch myself every time I go because it just drives me, extremely irritated. But yeah, this one woman, she is such a left-wing wacko. She was busting on Rush Limbaugh, and that just really irritates me again. So, yeah, everything that comes out of my mouth needs to be concise, needs to have some type of meaning. But the people who do this to me, my friends who do this to me, they can talk about the most, this is not a word, I'm going to tell you right now, nonsensical things in the world. And if it's some hot-looking chick with breast implants, nice ass, great body, really hot-looking, and they say stuff that makes no sense, well, that's okay because they're hot. They can get away with it. I mean, they could be telling you that, oh, there I go again, that shit smells really good, and that would mean, like, it would be a Nobel Prize statement come out of their fucking mouth. But if I mention something, hey, you know what? I don't want to really go out tonight. I just wanted your opinion that, the weather is below zero and are going to be below zero. And I wanted to go somewhere tonight, so I'm not going to be meeting up with you. So maybe you can give me your opinion. Would you, I know that this friend's not interested in going out where I wanted to go last night. But I just want to ask a simple question. What would be your suggestion? I got my car fixed on Thursday. I said it was Friday. It was actually Thursday. Got it back, and yesterday on Saturday, it had so many fucking problems. The what do you call it? The I'm trying to think of the right word. The alarm system would not go on. The cabin light would stay on. I mean, it was a disaster, and they're trying to blame me that it was like initially when they fucked up my car, like it was at the Volkswagen dealer for my Tiguan. They literally fucked it up, and they basically damaged something, and they said, well, it's not under warranty. I looked at my mileage on my car. It's got 42,000 miles. It's under warranty till at least another 10 or 20,000 miles. But they said, oh, this is not under warranty anymore, so we can't honor this. And here's the real knee slapper. I got a extended warranty that I paid an extra $4,000 for, which only is good at the dealership, Volkswagen dealership I bought it at, which is over in Westchester, which there's a Volkswagen dealership, though, down the road from where I live that's only 5 minutes down the road from where I live. So obviously I'm going to take it to the closer. I'm not going to take the one that's far away when the car's acting up. And they fucked it up, but they said, oh, yeah, your warranty's up. It's like, well, why did I pay an extra $4,000 for a Volkswagen extended warranty that's only good at one Volkswagen dealer that's like miles from home? So I was really concerned. I didn't want to go out too far last night. My one friend that I hang out with on the weekends, generally, we take turns driving. It's, it's like, well, listen, this time I probably shouldn't drive because it's really cold out. It was like 15 degrees today. This afternoon it was 15 degrees. I don't want to go anywhere real far, and we get stuck in my car, which then, obviously her get upset about without, if I didn't tell him. And, how is that going to be healthy? Because people have been, in the past, not too long ago, there was those articles about like some young girl in a pair of shorts coming home from a party around her neighborhood. She died from freezing to death. It's like, I'm just trying to give my friend a heads up. And the response was, well, it's not precisely anything of any importance to him, so I'm not going to respond. So honestly, it just made me feel really upset. It really upset me. Like, no one, and you know what? No offense, 70, or let's see, I'm 40. I'm going to be 50. About 50 years from now, no one is going to give two fucks on what I say, if it makes sense or not. And for my friends, I don't care what friend is. I don't even care if it's Captain Noah. They're not going to give two shits of what we say or what they say. Unless you're somebody who is truly a Nobel Prize winner, and even then, they're not going to know who you were, what you look like, or that everything that came out of your fucking mouth makes so much sense that you made sure that before you open your mouth to say anything, even if it means taking a shit, that, well, you know what? The way they said that wasn't a waste of verbiage. That I know that's not a word either. That everything that came out of their mouth just made so much fucking sense. I am like so ecstatic that they didn't waste my time or their time of airspace on any living breath for the last 90 years of their life. That they made sure that everything that came out of their fucking mouth made fucking sense. Who fucking cares If you know what, if everybody thought that way, that everything that comes out of their fucking mouth has to make some form of sense, word by word, we wouldn't be in the fucking mess we are now and the financial debt that we have. We would not have this. We would have these people, like 94 million Americans, not working. I'm sure then if every fucking word that came out of her mouth, if it made sense, like they made sure that they, I used the word again, would think before they would speak, I guarantee you that Lansdale wouldn't be on the top number one shit list of being one of the most worst places to live because of all the issues that are going on with there and every other place within the realms of Norristown being the shittiest places to live. So why is it just me who has to concisely, everything comes out of her mouth has to make sense, has to be of some importance, otherwise just keep your mouth shut. You know, it just reminds me of my one friend. I've said this story a billion times by now, but my friend John Greenswald. Now, this is totally different, but you're going to get, I hope, the gist of what I'm trying to say. He was the most abusive. He had a dog, and I still remember this. He's dead. He died when he was early 20s. He died, and he got killed in his house from a fire. Now, the thing was, though, he had a dog that he physically abused all the time. He was just horrible, this freaking dog. I love John. He was my best friend from high school. But he treated this dog like shit. No puns intended with the words dog shit, you know, get it? So he physically abused this dog constantly. And the dog couldn't stand him. The dog would his own dog would growl and bite him and attack him on a constant basis. Well, what's this happen to do with me? If you treat somebody like a piece of dog shit, you belittle them, dehumanize them, and make it that unless you have anything worthwhile of listening to, and it has to make sense, like everything that comes out of my mouth has to make sense, I'm going to become as rebellious as that dog. I'm going to be as nasty as that dog, if not worse. So I just got to vent. So take it or leave it. If you find it offensive, I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel. I am a human being. I'm not some fucking robot that everything that comes out of my fucking mouth is going to make, be concise, have some type of political statement or meaning. Who the fuck lives like that? If that was the truth, that everybody, well, I'm going to think before I even open my mouth, the next thing I'm going to say, I'm going to make sure it makes total sense and it's going to be meaningful. If that was true, we would be a bunch of automatons, robots that do nothing else besides, basically have no emotion at all. We would literally be robots. We are not robots. I am not a robot. I have feelings. And apparently that's just, overlooked. Like, I should make sure, again, everything I say is concise and, makes sense. I should not be, what would happen to that old saying, to err is human? Well, apparently that is, there I go again, I just said it. That is prohibited for me to say that. But everybody else can. Everybody who is just a total fucking mess. Look at our society as a whole. Look at my area I live in Norristown. It's a mess. It's in shambles. It's a total fucking shithole. And do you think if it's such a mess that is because these people think of everything that comes out of their mouth makes sense? Well, if that was the case, this would not be a problem. If everybody was this ideal, I know that's not the right word. Yeah, this ideological, everything that comes out of their mouth, everything they do is precisely right, that they are so perfect that nothing could ever go wrong, we would not have the problems we have now. But there is a problem. We do have a lot of problems. We have a fucked up society. We have people who are still have no, they can't think. They basically don't think, period, and they believe that the right is their enemies. They are evil people, the people on the right, and they really don't give two shits about anybody except themselves. Now, this is like completely different on the niche that I'm portrayed to live and believe in, which is that I should I should think before I speak, and everything I say should be precisely thought out before I even open my mouth. I should live on basically in a glass house. I should not do anything that is out of line, inappropriate. Should never, ever do that. But if it's somebody else, well, you know what? You should focus on yourself. Okay, well, I am focused on myself, but yet everybody else is focusing on the way I am. Not themselves, but the way I am. So it's just like so double. It's such a double standard. It's so one-sided. And it's really just plain depressing. I mean, it's just, oh my God, I don't mean to rant and rave because I'll hear about it later on, but I just can't help it. So, and I really apologize, honestly, at this point, because my whole thing, again, was I saw this story, and it really, really terribly upset me because this girl was just so cute. Now, when I say, hey, there's a young girl, a little kid that's really cute, and she's a girl, you know what I'm going to hear? I'm going to probably hear, well, Walter, you shouldn't think that way. You're a pervert, you're a child molester, and yet you got constantly, I don't even look for this stuff. I fucking see every day story after story with child molesters, and they're women or teachers that, men or women that are molesting or sexually married men and women that are having sexual relationships with young kids. And I'm not supposed to let that bother me, but I am not also supposed to let that bother me when people belittle me, dehumanize me, and treat me like a total piece of dog shit because I don't make sense. And if I don't make sense, we're not just pretend you're not alive. And, just a heads up, for those who know me in real life, listen to me on the show complaining or talking about stuff doesn't mean that I'm conversing with you in real life. What I say is only one-sided. It's just me venting my feelings where I don't hear a response. I don't hear anything. But yet, from the other side, well, we're talking to each other. Yeah, I'm talking. I'm making a fucking radio show. You're not responding to me at all. So just give you a heads up. So, if you want to be, for those people, and I'm even talking when I went to, that's pretty funny. I'm sorry, I saw something on. When I went down to Red Bank, I don't even know where I want to go with this, but if, some of those people that I met in Red Bank, some were really nice and some were like total douchebags. No offense. And just because they are, because I complained to friends about how, some people I met were total dickwads that I thought were, pretty cool. They were very self-centered and basically they're not the friendly people you think they are in real life. They're actually, it's all fake. Just because I say that they're, some of the people I met were, they weren't honest. They were basically two-faced. They're be one way if they were pointed in front of a camera or television, movie. It doesn't matter. Or just people in general who think that they're, you think, oh, they're really nice people, and then you meet them, and it's like, because I've met people at conventions, comic book conventions, meet and greets, and some of them are really nice, and other ones are total lame brain, dickhead douchebags that, you know what, if they died tomorrow, I wouldn't even care because they've been dead a long time in my mind. So, bottom line is, I just, but when I meet people that I've known all my life, depending who they are, or people that I just known that are neighbors, because I have neighbors like, a neighbor that's like that, who are just, they act real nice and everything, And then you find it, well, that's the side you see of them, but then you don't see the other side, that they're total, like, douchebags. You don't hear about that. Oh, well, I always thought that person was so nice and everything like that. Because there was some TV show or movie I saw that was pretty much on that line where when you meet the person, on a shallow level, like you don't see them every day and, they come across as being really nice. But I forget where I saw that. It was something I saw that in. But then for the person who lives with that person, they see a whole totally different side that doesn't match up for the way they express and show themselves to others. I wish I could remember what that was, because that's pretty much the story of my life. Like, people are come across as being really nice to others, and they will treat me like I am shit underneath their shoes, and even that would be too good. There I go again with the on the way they treat me. So I apologize. I must have said I don't know how many times already, and I said I wouldn't, but I did anyway. Maybe it's just a habit I'm going to slowly need to work on, and I will, trust me. Because this is yes, I am a work in progress, trust me. I am trying so hard to make my show sound better and less annoying. I really do. I know I do a lot of slipbacks. So, yeah, you know what? I really buried that story now, because I can't help it. That girl is so cute. And there's other people, like these kids, that are so adorable. They're young little kids. And there's ones with Down syndrome, autism. Maybe that's what this girl has, Caroline. But I saw it, and it was just like, I feel so bad for this kid, because she's, her whole life, it makes me think, and your life goes by so fucking fast. Before you know it, your life's over. Like, when I made these plans for these trips, like the one for Red Bank, I made these plans a couple weeks in advance when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do during my B-Day. I'm a week before Valentine's is my B-Day, my birthday. And I decide on this, and when it came, it went so fast. But that's like everything in life. You look for your next goal. What is going to be my next thing that I want to strive for? And when it comes, it's gone. And that's like with everything in life. You strive for your next goal, and before you know it, it's done with. Sorry, I just had taken a swallow. I just have to keep on staring at this picture of this girl, because I feel so bad. It's like, when I see pictures like this, there's another picture I have. It was just a video, and it was on some website I didn't even know existed on Facebook, and it's just on, I think it's called Horrific Stuff on Facebook. And this poor guy his bones are so deformed, his head lays on his back. And I saw that, and that kind of got me upset. That got, really just tore me apart. But I look at this picture of this Caroline girl. She is so cute. She looks like, if she didn't have this issue, when she got old enough, this girl would have, every guy, basically at her feet. But this poor girl, she can't talk. She can't move. She's like a total vegetable, and I feel so bad for this girl. It's like things like that just really, take me by the heartstrings. These kids, or these people that have disabilities. They even had this video the mom did of different people that it's called Caroline's Cart. It's like basically a seat for either adults or grown children or little children. There I go again with the for these for the I said again, I know, to help the parents, or I guess the parents, to help be able to take their kids to a supermarket, or they're grown adults, because one was a much older, must have been in their 70s or something, a person that was retarded, but they still are being cared for by their parents. And it's just like, I saw this video, and with Caroline, and it just really just tore me apart. So I'm going to keep the picture up of Caroline just to remember. In fact, I'm going to kind of snag that picture. No, it doesn't make me a sexual predator. I really I see people like this. If I could do anything, I mean, the thing with the performing arts is my number one thing I like to do. But when I see stuff like this, if I can help people like Caroline or something, that would definitely be very rewarding. It would be also very stressful because I just take it too personally all the time, honestly. So it was on Fox 29 where I saw this story originally. It says new shopping cart for special needs kids. And it's not just kids that these carts were designed for. Caroline, the mother came up with for her daughter Caroline. Again, she's just really cute. I mean, like when she look like her face, I'm looking at the pictures of her. She's like looking while she's getting her picture taken. I guess her mom's taking a picture of her in a Target cart that was specially designed from her mom making this patent on these carts, and they're not just only at Target, they're at other places. And it literally just tears me apart that, I'm glad they have carts like this. There's a cute little kid, a little boy, who also is, but this girl is just so adorable. These kids are all really cute. And in a lot of ways, it's cool. Yeah, there's a place called Kroger that actually has these carts, too. They actually are named Caroline's carts. Now, here's an older, I guess, a woman who's got some type of, there I go with the again, emotional illness, some other cute little kids, and they're all adorable, but it just tears me apart. Caroline is just, she's so cute, this kid. I know I've said it a million times, but again, I'm making sure to save her pictures. Maybe, I don't know. I was going to say I could use that for my promo picture today, but that would probably not be probably the best thing to do. Unless I just take a picture of the Caroline's card. I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll do that. Let me just do that now. Because I don't want to say commemorate, but I definitely have to put that up. Because I always have to decide what I'm going to do for a picture. And Caroline is just definitely what I have to do. There's even this poor kid, this guy, I would say he's got to be at least in his early 20s, late teens. And he's in one of these carts. And I just look at these pictures, and honestly, it literally just tears me apart. I mean, I'm kind of glad that people don't forget about children or adults that are handy capable, I guess they call it. But I've seen that even in, there I go with the again. I saw that, and it just tore me apart when I was coming home from work early in the wee hour mornings. I'd go to the Walmart around our house, the one in Trooper. And the one time I saw this Latino family with their daughter and the daughter, she was so cute, but she obviously was like Caroline. She had some type of, she needed to be, she's going to need to be taken care of for her whole entire life. And if something happens to her parents, she'll probably go into one of those homes. And I'm just looking at this little kid who is pretty much like a vegetable, and it just, like, I wanted to just drop things and leave because it was just emotionally, it was too hard for me to watch. It really just tore me apart. And I mean, I've seen people like that before, me having mental illness in the past. And I remember one time, this was years ago, I was actually in an Acme, and it was a kid who had obviously some issues, emotional, mental issues, and it just tore me so far apart. I almost like started bursting out and crying. And it was just like so hard for me to watch that. I'm not even kidding. So that's the problem. I remember I was actually, at one point I was taking there I go with the again. I was taking courses in the mental health field to become a technician to help people, but that was the other problem I had. I just couldn't deal with it. It was just very, very difficult for me to deal with people that have handicaps as well. It's very emotionally tolling because I take it personally. I really do with these people, these children. And, there's a lot that I will make jokes about, but honestly, that is one thing I will never really make a joke on at all, because it's just, to me, being in that situation and kind of the best I can surpassing a lot of my issues. I just said it again. I mean, but these people have handicaps that are different than from what I have, but they still really do bother me. So the thing is, by saying that, there's certain things I just can't do. So I you know what, like I said, I just apologize, because I probably am not making much sense, but at the same time, the whole gist was her Caroline story that I really wanted to mention. For number one, and number two, it just, the other thing is just being treated like a piece of dog shit. But the main thing was Caroline, so I have to mention that, that I did. So, you know what? It was funny. There was a story I read. I couldn't believe the title, and it was from Joe the Plumber, by the way, on a different story, on a different note. It's titled, Meryl Streep claims she's an African, she's basically African, not kidding. That was just like yesterday, this story was posted. Can you believe that? So, obviously, that got some jokes. I mean, yeah, you can be from South Africa, but she's actually, I think, proclaiming she's, like, I made this joke years ago, me and a friend, because I'm Sicilian, and I actually said this to a friend in college years ago. I said, yeah, well, I'm half black. The guy was black, too. And I just said, again. And he said, oh, yeah, you're right. Because I said, well, I'm from Sicily. I'm actually half black. And he says, yeah, you're right. So he went up to a bunch of his friends. I might have said this story before. And he told his friends, he says, yeah, don't worry. They didn't want to talk in front of me because I was a white guy. His friends were obviously a bunch of these black guys. And he says, oh, don't worry. He's black, too. And they looked at my one friend who was black in college. They looked like he was a total fucking nutcase. It's like, I was joking about it, too. But they gave him such dirty looks. But now I'm looking at this story that says Meryl Streep claims that she's African. So I'm going to glance through this. I think this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Yeah, she's doing it on the agenda of equality and inclusion. So she's claiming that she's African. Yeah, it says during a jury panel conference, this is where the artists judge each other's work. Streep, she basically said on equality and gender, race, ethnicity, religion. You know what? I love Meryl Streep for what she's done, but obviously she's another left-wing wacko claiming that she's African. Again, I'm not going to read it because I'll fuck it up. I just think it's funny. So I just had to throw that in my niche, Meryl Streep. Somebody actually put the response of that lady who for years claimed she permed her hair and basically went to a tanning salon and she made herself look black, even though she looked like a white woman with really badly tanned skin, and she's not even black at all. Well, somebody put that picture of her up underneath my story of Meryl Streep's claiming that she's black, and I seriously, I laughed out so fucking loud. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So, I joke about it, but why do people put so much time and effort into making themselves out to be victimized, and pick on certain people, and the ones that are being tormented the most are the white males anymore. I've said this a million times. I'm sure Rush has said it many times too, in a roundabout way. So, but it's not going to stop. The only way you stop this bullshit is you stop singling out people and saying that I am a victim. When you stop doing that nonsense, the rest will stop. Because honestly, I mean, there probably was inequality and segregation and stuff when I was growing up, but it wasn't made to the point that you harass people. Because I have a couple stories where these gang beatings from black guys ganging up on white people and white couples. And there was more than one. And the only reason I'm mentioning that because you never heard about that stuff because it never happened as much as it does now. And the reason it does is because we got people in the government who just make people victims, and they start to believe this bullshit. Like, yeah, I'm really a victim because I'm a minority, I'm a transgender, I'm a black person. I've been harassed all my life. It's like, you know what? When I was growing up, we never really thought that way. We just thought of people as just being people that just look different from us. We never made it like a horrible issue that we need to beat the shit out of this white guy and this white couple because they're the ones that are holding us down. Or we need to get this man arrested on college campus because he's eventually, if he doesn't even, he may not know it now, but eventually it's just in his genes that he's going to rape me because I'm a defenseless, helpless, white, victimized woman. Bullshit. So I get tired of that stuff. Anyway, again, on horrific stuff, I'm looking at it now because I can just shut it down. It was on a TLC special. Is this man who is so, his body is so contorted to, out of the way it's supposed to be that his legs are, contorted inwards and his neck pushes his head all the way back that it's lying on his back. I felt bad. That just really upset me, this poor man. He seems like he's contented, like it doesn't bother him as much as it does bother me. So just to let you know, but that was on that. Horrific stuff. I just asked to be added. So a lot of the stories are just making people, unfortunately, into, basically into freaks. And I don't like that. I know Howard Stern did that for years. He made people, he had the whack pack and stuff. But those people seem like they didn't seem to care because they actually got noted. Maybe that's what I could become. I could become one of these whack pack people because obviously I can't do a good show without fucking things up. And some of this stuff's just oddly weird. There's one, I can't read it because it's in a different language, but it's on horrific stuff. It looks like this guy's putting tons of powder on his ass and he's farting it out, like he's making fart bombs out of baby powder. And this is on this, there's some really weird stuff on horrific stuff. Is it called horrific stuff? Did I say? Yeah, it is called horrific stuff. One where it's called First Class Twat. It's basically a guy dressed up like a girl. And it says, tag a twat needs a girlfriend. And I don't understand this one. It says, Navy SEAL brags about sexy girlfriend, then her scandalous past was revealed. So I don't know, but there's some really weird stories. Another one, it says, First Class Twat, where this guy basically puts a crab on his tongue, lets it bite, put its claws on his tongue. So there's some really goofy stuff on here. But that one with that guy, that's just making a joke out of this poor man. He can't help himself. And here's something with this Asian girl who gets sexually aroused by putting chocolate on men's bodies and eating it off, like chocolate candy bars, thing of Hershey syrup. She gets aroused by that. So, yeah, and here's another story. This one I would have to mark this, put on my thing, which is interesting too, actually. I'm not going to read it because I promise you I'll ruin it. This is why it's important. This is what it says. This is why it's important to pee after sex. And it basically says urinating after sex will help you fight infections that could basically, I guess, cause some type of diseases or something. I don't know. Here's one. It says, wife takes a positive pregnancy test, but the ultrasound reveals it's not a baby that's in her stomach or, in her love canal, or whatever you want to call it. So these are all extremely bizarre stories, to say the least. Here's one that was kind of weird. It says early symptoms, which is for us guys, early symptoms of cancer men should be aware of. There goes the again. is this reality? It's all one word. It says is this reality? Prevention key in the fight against cancer. So please make sure, men, your life are aware from this reality statement. It shows a diagram. It's basically how because men can actually get this too. You check for lumps in your breast. Now, usually when you hear about cancer in your breast, it's women can get, breast cancer, but you don't hear about it, but it is the truth. Men can also get breast cancer as well, which I forget where I heard that, but it is true. So if you really want to see some bizarre stories, some which honestly I don't think it's right that they actually make it into a freak show thing, that I don't, once again, I just don't find entertaining at all. I find that kind of offensive. But, oh wow, there's some really bizarre stories on here though. Let me go back up the top. I was going through this. I didn't expect to find this many stories. Horrific stuff. So I'm going to make sure. Now, I shouldn't. I'm going to send it to my one friend, Todd, but he'll probably just make jokes out of the stuff. Some of this stuff could be remotely entertaining, but there's also a lot of stuff that I like that particular gentleman that can't help his situation. I mean, that's nothing you make jokes about. Hey, here is a story I had posted, and it was from the Daily News. Actually, a friend sent it to me. I didn't post it. My friend sent it to me, my friend Todd. It says, I'm just going to say it out because I've already used the fuck word as much as I've used So it says, fuck you, Indiana plant workers react to news that their 1,400 jobs are being sent to Mexico. Warn in strong language. Well, not as strong as what I just used. So these guys are cool that they're like really pissed off because I'm part of a union too. Well, here's the funny thing. This is in Colorado. Their jobs are going down to Mexico. But here's the funny thing. The union that is really pissed off that they're losing all their jobs is the exact same union that I'm part of. So, but I'm in Pennsylvania. So what is that telling you? If there's a union that I'm under the same umbrella of, the same exact union, that now they're losing all their jobs. And the one guy who's really pissed off has been at his job as long as I have. Because it has under the caption, he's been an employee of this job where he works as a carrier employee for 13 years. It's exactly how long I've worked. And now he's losing his job. He's fighting for his job, but it's lost. His job is gone. It's going down to Mexico. It says that an Indianapolis manufacturer plant is shipping hundreds of jobs to Mexico, and employees are told about the move are not pleased. The people are told about it. 1,400 jobs are going down to Mexico from the same fucking union that I am part of. So what is this telling you? What is it telling me? Well, maybe that union that I belong to is not that good. I'm paying all these union dues, and I'm not guaranteed to have a job at the end of the day. So it's going to be really tough when I have to finally not have any income coming in, and I got to look for something, and it's not going to even pay. For what I get paid now, I'm not going to even get paid. I'll be honest with you. I'll get paid less than half per hour of what I get paid now. So, yeah, I'm bitching and complaining about paying $800 in taxes. But imagine paying 40% of your income when you're only making $10 an hour or $15 an hour. So that's going to be really depressing. I mean, I'm surprised the suicide rate isn't any higher, or, it's not off the charts with the bullshit going on right now. Anyway, one man I put on like such a high pedestal, and I really wish he would have ran for president. It's too late now because I might have mentioned this, but two people dropped out that I kind of admired. There I go with the again. Two people dropped out from the, for presidential elect, or whatever you want to call it, from the Republican side. One was there I go again. I tell you, I'm going to catch myself every time I say it. Is it Kathy Theorina or whatever? Let me make sure. I can't say her name. What am I? The arena. No, I can't remember her name. I know the New Jersey, who was that? Dropped out too. Chris Christie. I'm just, if I can't find it, Kathy Griffin. That's what came in. Let's just see who dropped out for president. I'm just putting who left the race because maybe that would be. I'm not doing a very good job. It's not real. Well, it is kind of important. It's like Fiorina, I think is her name. She unfortunately dropped out. I know Chris Christie did. I thought somebody else did too. But I'm just going to drop that one right now because I can't find what I'm looking for. But I don't even know I got started on that, honestly. But yeah, Alan West is one person I really just put on a high pedestal. I would love to see that man run for president. That man is just like, he is so smart. You know, everything he does say does make sense. And he's one of these people that I'll never be. So, if there's somebody I would just, like, if I could, I would, you know, you can't. I'm being sarcastic. If I could vote him, like, 100 times for the man to make sure he would become president, I would do it. I know that's illegal. You can't do it. I just respect the man that much. Anyway, he wrote, because there's a lot of different articles on this, about he wrote that the longest-serving current justice of the Supreme Court, who ran actually originally under Reagan, I believe, Justice, it looks like Anton Scalia has died. Did I say his name right? I probably didn't. Anyway, this guy, it says he was appointed by Ronald Reagan, which I was least right about that in 1986. His passing leaves a huge void to be filled. So I saw a friend call me about this too. I saw a lot of articles about this. Most of them were, it's just interesting on the same situation, or I mean the same story, how it could have two sides. Literally had two fucking sides to the same story on the way it was portrayed. From the Republican side, hell no, Obama is not going to pick the next appointed. Oh, God, I said it again. Sorry about that. I can't stop it. It's like a bad thing. And I'm just trying to look because I just shut down the freaking story. So let me see if I can find it. See, without like my cues in front of me, I can't do a story, and it comes out even worse. Let me just put in Chief dies. I'm just writing anything just to see. So, see if I didn't if I didn't shut that down, I caught myself that time. I'll just put in Alan West on Facebook because see if that works. Alan West on Facebook. Because that man is just... But even Alan West was saying, obviously, because he was... With Scalia's passing, if I'm saying his name correctly, even Alan West and a lot of the right-wing people were basically saying there is no way that Obama's going to pick the next person to take Scalia's... who's going to replace him. So, I'm trying to think. What was exactly his thing? So, because Obama's going to replace him with some type of other left-wing wacko. And the last thing Alan West wants to see is that man being replaced with somebody that's picked by Obama. But the point that I'm trying to make on my feverish attempt was the right was saying there is no way he's going to be allowed. He is not going to be able to pick. They're saying no way in hell is that man, Obama, going to be able to, with his spoiled attitude, is going to pick the next person for the Supreme Court justice. But on the left side, they're making it out just by the terminology. I don't have any story in front of me. Oh, well, they're not going to allow Obama to pick the next person for the Supreme Court after Scalia died. Or I'm not saying his name right. I apologize. So it's just funny how the same information given from the left gives you the feel of, well, this is not right. They're not going to let Obama pick. This is more double standards and stuff from the left side. And on the Republican side, hell no, he's not going to pick it because who he's going to pick. He's going to pick somebody who thinks like and acts like him. So I go for the right side because why? Because it's right. Also, just because it makes total sense. Where why should you have somebody who is going to be very judgmental, and they're acting like the right's being the ones being judgmental, which it's not true. It's the left that's being the one reciprocating or not reciprocating. They're being judgmental, not the right. The left is. But they're going to make it out that, these horrible right-wing Republican conservatives, Tea Party people are the ones that are going to screw it up and make sure to get somebody as vicious and evil and as self-centered and self-loathing as we are. Because that's the truth. They're the ones. The Democrats put all this vicious spew on the right, but they're actually just it's like they're looking in the mirror, and what they see in a mirror is basically the reflection of themselves, but they try to portray that, that's not the way we think. That's the way the right thinks. No, that's the way you think, you idiots. So, there you go. There was a story on Fox 29. This was funny. I will get vicious attacks from this one person on Facebook who I keep a friend of mine, because you know what they always say, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer type deal. That's why I keep this one person as a friend. So I'll get attacked about this because I know they did in the past. North Carolina welfare applicants, recipients, drug tested. So that was pretty funny. In North Carolina, that's where my brother lives. He's basically saying that they're saying now that they're going to have drug tests for people that are on welfare. And they're showing not like regular people. They're showing like college and high school people, I guess. Maybe they're also, part of the welfare recipient group, obviously. They have to come from somewhere. So, hey, and on a lighter note, it was funny. I just saw last night, since I got that extra money, I wanted a good headset besides the one I have, one that actually fits over my ears. And I hate to say, the Beats are actually the best to buy. The Dr. Dre's, they are excellent speakers. The sound quality is definitely very noticeable. I got one, but it doesn't fit all the way over my ear. So if I'm doing long shows that I'm just dragging on and saying well, my ears turn really red. They turn like a beet red. It hurts. So I got a bigger set. Why did I do that? Because Best Buy had them on sale for half off. They're normally like $300 or $150. But I got one step better because there was one that was an open box, brand new, just taken out of the box, probably for display, that Best Buy had on sale for like $100. I was like, okay, I got a little extra money. I can actually spend some money that I'll use for my shows or just basically to listen to TV at night so I'm not distracting people around me. So here they did not have them on the Best Buy website. Best Buy has actually a division now, which they had for a long time, I'm sure. They have one called Cow Boom, but they also have one, believe it or not, on eBay. It actually says Best Buy's storefront. It literally says that on eBay. So these headsets I was trying to get and purchase from Cow Boom and from Best Buy. Best Buy put it on eBay for $100 because they're a $300 headset. They're brand new. They're just taken out of the box, so they marked them down $200 because they're on sale this week for $150. So they basically just kind of prorated it from the $150 open box. We take a percentage off. We're going to take it off the sale price, which makes it $100. So you still have to pay the tax and everything on this stuff, but it's coming from Best Buy. I'll get them this Thursday. So that was like really cool though, and it was kind of neat that I actually use my Best Buy credit card because that way I get points. I get that allotment of time to pay it off, and it is coming directly from the Best Buy thing. Now, if I see these headsets and I don't like them, though, I can just basically, they said you can return it right to the store, even though you bought it on eBay, because you're actually buying them from Best Buy, no matter how you look at it. So it's like ultra cool. So here is a story I found on Daily Mail. I thought it was kind of funny, too. It's kind of disgusting. It's titled, "Too Much Protein for Me. Man Complains to Woolworths," which there is none around us anymore. Woolworths was what I grew up with. The department store called Woolworths. This is probably something different. After he boils an egg, he boils an egg and he finds inside a chicken. He says his boiled free range egg, they're probably the ones that are all natural, from Woolworths, it says Woolworths, had a dead baby chicken inside, and they showed the chicken. So that poor thing was starting to develop. This poor chicken had got boiled to death. Man found a dead chicken inside his egg he purchased from Woolworths. He had taken a photo of a gray embryo and posted a complaint on Facebook. Many social media users were taken aback by the off-putting image. Unclear how the free-range egg ended up being fertilized. That is definitely an interesting question, which I can't even answer, but they do show the fetal, it developed chicken inside the egg that he had boiled. So, and that was on Facebook. I mean, it was probably already dead anyway, even when they refrigerated, I would assume. So, there's some stories I wanted to get to first. Oh, this was an interesting story, too, the one I want to read next. I found this on newser.com. Man vows to keep potato-only diet for a year, and he loses weight. He loses a lot of weight. So this is really cool. So he only eats potatoes. Now, I heard eating just potatoes is not good for you because I thought that you need other types of nutrients because I tried to do a potato diet. I know you can lose weight from it, but you need more than just potatoes. You have to substitute other things that you're not getting because that's basically a pure starch diet. It says a little over 40 days in 2016, Andrew Taylor has lost more than 30 pounds eating as much as he likes, but the catch is just eating potatoes. An Australian man who was weighed 330 pounds at the start of the year says he decided to go on a spud diet after recognizing his unhealthy relationship with food. So you look at this guy. This guy in the picture they show does not even look remotely close to 300 pounds because you've already lost a lot of weight. So if you're a drug addict or an alcohol addict, the solution is quite cold turkey. Obviously, you could do so. He went cold turkey with food, so much that you thought perhaps to quit all food. One kind, a 36-year-old tells CTV News. So you know exactly. Did I say how much he lost? 40 days. But he said he was 330 pounds. But this guy again does not look remotely close. He must have easily lost at least 100 pounds, is my guess. Because you look at this picture, he looks about that size. I mean, his face is absolutely thin. His body looks thin. So you can find that story on newser.com. newser.com. Not loser, newser. I'm not kidding. So that's really cool. I mean, I was going to try that. I forget who else did a potato diet for a movie that all they ate was potatoes, I thought. So, hey, on a interesting note, because I wouldn't mind going and see him. He's really cool. He's a drag queen. Alaska Thunderfuck is going to be coming around Friday, May 27th, and it's down in Philly, though. It says 1250 North Front Street, Philadelphia. The guy is really good. He's really funny. So, yeah. I you know what? Give me a moment. I'm just marking off some stuff that it was pretty funny. Oh, great. The person that keeps on mocking me for my stuff now is poking me every second. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to take the high road out and hope that they eventually just give up on poking me. I don't even know what that whole fucking thing is with poking. So I just do it because it's an OCD thing for me. So, I'll do something like that because I don't know any better. Okay, they poke me again. Oh, no, they stopped. Good. Nope, they stopped. Good. Yeah, I have a couple. I just did the again. I apologize. Here's an interesting story, and I really don't like mentioning these stories, but it's Daily Mail, and it just basically says battered woman admits to stabbing an abusive boyfriend to death after he called her a whore and said she should open a brothel. What is a brothel? Sophie Butler attacked Hussein was his last name, leaving a 11-inch centimeter deep wound, but Butler, 20, originally denied murder and later took a plea of manslaughter. Psychiatrists ruled she was suffering from battered woman syndrome. It is believed this was brought on due to a repeated attack by Mr. Hussein. So you look at the pictures, this guy is obviously a Middle Eastern descendant. This chick is... I'm not sure where she's from, had an abusive boyfriend, but you got to remember, the Middle Easterns, that's the way they feel they can treat their women, is by they own the women. Now, again, this is what women want, apparently. They love these Middle Eastern, these bad guys. There I go with the again. I just caught myself. But men who treat women like total dog shit is what they want, but yet they complain. These same women are be the ones that are complaining about they're being mistreated, inequality, this is not fair. The white man is the one who's keeping us down, blah, blah, blah. Well, if that's true, then why do you date these Middle Eastern men who their only intention is to procreate with 12-year-olds or 11-year-olds, 9-year-olds, and they feel that women are nothing more than pieces of dog shit who can be pushed around. So why do you date, pieces of shit like that, ladies, and then humiliate and defamate the white male who would not treat you that way? You constantly go for the wrong choice, and yet you blame the white male for your mistakes. So that makes no sense to me. I'm just questioning it. That's all I'm doing. I'm questioning it. If you'd like to give an answer, go right ahead. Here's a story from PIX11. It was obviously from my friend Todd. 2 wanted for stealing over 100 pairs of underwear from Victoria's Secret at the Staten Island Mall. So these two guys, there was 2 gentlemen, both to be politically correct African Americans, had stole a plethora of women's lingerie from Staten Island Mall. Police are searching for 2 people who were caught in their surveillance video stealing more than 100 pairs of underwear from Victoria's Secret. I apologize. I think one's a woman, the other one's an African American, from Staten Island Mall in January. On New Year's Day, a man and a woman walked, so I was wrong. It was a man and a woman. A Caucasian woman and an African-American man, because I can't use the proper word that, most of us would use. Just American. You have to make sure it's politically correct, so I'm making sure to do that. Walked into Victoria's Secret around 12:15 p.m. The woman acted as the lookout while the man went into the drawers and shoved about 80 pairs of underwear worth over $1,000 into his bag, officials said, and they both fled. So now they're on the lookout to see where they can find these people who stole all this underwear. So, on a different note, I got to find that story. I went and seen Deadpool on Friday. It was a lot of parents with their young kids. One was a parent with her 7-year-old son for a rated R fucking movie. So, and trust me, Deadpool was, every other word was fuck. There I go with the again. You have Deadpool masturbating with a unicorn in his hand, a little toy unicorn he masturbates to. And even in the beginning, the credits say stuff like douchebag productions. So, and you have to stay, by the way, after the credits because there is more to be shown, like every Marvel movie, right after, because they added it at the very end after all the credits had rolled, because originally there was that was taken out, or it was added on after it was shown at a private screening type thing. That was added on later on about a prequel, which will definitely happen now, considering the movie only cost $54 million to make, and it made over $260 million, which was far beyond what they expected. They thought it probably would have broken out even because it was a Marvel movie that basically was a low budget one for Marvel, because most of the Marvel movies go well beyond a couple $100 million. This one cost $54 million, and it made eightfold of what it cost to make it almost. So anyway, one of the people in for this sequel is Stephen Lang, is gunning for the Cable, which is a character in the universe of Deadpool, in the next Deadpool movie. So there's a lot of articles already on that. I've been keeping check on the stories to see where we stand on Deadpool, and I actually had taken it down, so I got to re-look for it because I was very ecstatic. I was beyond being happy. Oh, by the way, real quick, happy birthday to Florence Henderson. Her birthday is on Valentine's Day. She was born in 1934. Florence Henderson, I'm trying to think. I think she played actually in the Brady Bunch, I believe. So I'm scrolling down on my stories to see if I can find. Yeah, Box Office Mojo. That's my thing for movies. Said it made over $260 million already. So I'm trying to look for the Box Office Mojo. The movie was kind of like, it was very dark. Definitely not for kids. A little quirky, which it was supposed to be. They played, Ryan Reynolds made plenty of jokes about how they messed up. They completely fucked up in that X-Men movie where they sewed Deadpool's mouth shut. That was like definitely a a part of a joke and part of the movie. Sorry, I'm trying to look for Box Office Mojo again. Yeah, it's beyond number one this week, by the way. I mean, I'm just so ecstatic that it made this much movie. Domestically, this weekend, for the opening weekend, which has only been since, I think, Thursday night. I just almost started saying, $135 million. Foreign, $125 million for Deadpool. So, altogether, it made over $260 million, and it's still going strong. For an open weekend, I mean, that's far beyond. If it doesn't even do that well anymore, that is far beyond what anybody had ever expected Deadpool to make. So, it says Sunday estimates was over $45 million just alone. What else can I say? I mean, this is excellent. This is really, really cool. So obviously, Deadpool is number one this weekend. I'm trying to look. It says Deadpool smashes box office records on its way to 260 million worldwide. What already did make 260 million. It was what I've seen. So, and it was playing by the hour in every movie theater. So they knew it was going to do well. They just did not realize how well it was going to do. So I'm just trying to put in box office mojo just to see if I can get, yep, here we go. It says Deadpool studio weekend gross $135 million. So now that's just domestic. Worldwide, it made 260. So, and it cost $54 million to make. So, no, $58 million. Oh, I'm sorry, I was off by $4 million for a movie that made $260 million, and it says week one. So that actually definitely, because it's been weeks that Star Wars was on top. Now it's finally kind of lost the realm of even the top 10, it looks like. Because here we go for the box office mojo. Number one, worldwide, it's over $260 million was Deadpool. Kung Fu Panda 3 was number 2. How to Be Single is number 3. Zoolander 2 was number 4, which was kind of surprising because they said that movie was so bad. I'm sorry. Force Awakens actually does come in number 7, which is actually really impressive. So the budget was $200 million, and it's almost made close to, I would say it's getting very close to being the $1 billion mark on the gross that Star Wars made. So, hey, that's nothing to sneeze out. And just to give you a heads up, Star Wars has been in the theater. Now, why does that say Force Awakens? 9 weeks. So that's been over 2 months that Star Wars has been on the top 10 list. That's really good. That is excellent. Number 8 was The Choice. Number 9 was Ride Alone 2. Never heard of it. Number 10 was called The Boy, that horror movie that just looks really bad. So I can't imagine that making actually any money. Total gross, it made $30 million. Budget was $10 million. So actually The Boy made a reasonable, to say the least, there we go with the again. A reasonable profit. So you know what that means. There'll probably be a sequel to that movie too. And it won't be even right to video. Now, here's one of the stories. This one's like really old. I don't know where my friend found this because I saw this story months ago, and he's posting it now. And what it's called, it's titled, it was from conservativepost.com. Black woman attacks white woman, makes her drop her baby. I talked about that so long ago, and the friend brings it up. So I don't know where he found it, but the point was, again, you got everybody so uptight and believing that they are being victimized that now it's just you got to be scratching your head that people, for one thing, they're that stupid that anytime you can convince somebody, and you know what, that's the problem too. It doesn't take that much to convince anybody that, hey, you're being victimized. You can tell anyone that they're a victim of their circumstance, and without a doubt, they're going to believe it right away. They're going to believe it like, oh, yeah, you're right, I am a victim. This is not fair. Because people, you know why people love to hear that? Because that way they get away with whatever they want to do, and there's not going to be any penalty, any repercussion. They won't have to pay for their stupidity. Well, the reason I act this way is because I'm a victim. I'm a minority. I'm a Muslim. I'm a woman. I'm an African American. What about the people that are truly being victimized? Well, they have no say in it because the real victims are the ones who are the criminals. Don't you know that? Here's the other one, by the way. You just have to watch the video. A friend sent this to me. To thedeathmedia.com, this one came from. Gang of thugs pick on an unassuming couple. Unfortunately for them, it says this in caps, white boy, and then it's regular again, is a black belt. Yes. So these thugs, and there was like 8 of them, ganged up on this guy to try to beat the shit out of him, not realizing these 8 black guys. They picked a fight with this guy and his girlfriend, and the guy was a black belt. It says Pat Bateman. These 2 tourists were trying to take a quick picture by a fountain when a couple of tough guys came over and put their hands on them. Now, they say a couple. Well, I counted the number. It was like 8. Not all at once, because it says 2 punks. There was more than 2, because there was a whole bunch of these black guys. There was like 8 of them. Not all at once, again, to try to beat the shit out of this guy, and it looked like one of those karate movies, from the past. Like, he literally floored and knocked the shit out of 8 different guys. Not 2, even though it says 2. These 2 punks thought that they, because of the color of their skin and unassuming nature, these 2 folks would be pushovers. That's exactly what it says. This would turn out to be a huge mistake. As soon as the hoodlums put their hands on the couple, the man establishes some distance between them and the attackers and himself. And then he begins to dismantle them one by one. Well, that part's true, one by one, because, again, you watch the video, there was 8 black guys against 1 white male, who was, again, a karate expert. He was a black belt. If you street justice, if you're street justice, you're going to love this video. Enjoy. I guess what they meant to say, if you're for street justice, you're going to love this. And trust me, I did enjoy that video. I'm not going to deny it. You know what, my computer thing shut down. So give me a minute. All right, I'm just booting it up again. Just to make sure, because I ran into that problem that one time. So, yeah, it starts out with 2 black guys. It ends up, and they're all over. It literally looks like, it's excellent. It looks like one of those Bruce Lee movies or whatever. Like, he's got them on the ground, really severely fucking hurting. Like, they are in so much pain. And some of them are dumbasses enough to get up and try to think like, well, you know what? I'm going to, hey, there's 8 of us that initially started with just 2 black guys, and 8, what is that? 6 other black guys joined in, 2, pairing up 2 at a time, and the guy was just knocking them down like they were dominoes. Literally just knocking them, floor them to the fucking floor. I thought it was hilarious. So, yeah, I have to mention that. So there you go. That's what you call a definite can of whip ass that I rather enjoyed watching. So thank you, Todd, for that. Anyway, there was on Ted Cruz's, it says conservativeoutfitters.com, but it's a Ted Cruz kind of infomercial. They take they make a parody with Hillary Clinton doing what happened in the all-time classic movie of Office Space, where the guys get pissed off at the printer and the fax machine, and they take it out and they smash the shit out of it. Well, they do it. Ted Cruz does a parody for his campaign against Clinton, where she's smashing the shit out of her computer, kicking the shit out of her with other Democrats, 2 other Democrats. Like, they redid the scene Ted Cruz did for this infomercial for his campaign against Hillary and her emails. And it is the funniest fucking thing I've ever saw. I mean, trust me, that is something that is a large LOL, because it's perfect and it's true. But you really think that's going to hurt her campaign? Probably not. No, it's not going to hurt her campaign. Not even probably not. It's not going to hurt her campaign because she is untouchable, unfortunately. So just to give you a heads up, if she gets it and Barney Sanders does not, we are completely fucked, because if she gets it after all the bullshit she's pulled, we really don't stand a chance. This country is definitely doomed. So it's bad enough that we would have Bernie Sanders. I don't know if I said Barney before, but I meant Bernie. To have Bernie Sanders run for president, but at least we have a fighting chance. With Hillary, we have no fucking chance, because that just means we are really doomed, and in more ways than one with what I just said. So here is a story a friend sent me, my friend Todd, from Usher. It says usherald.com. Heroin ringleader arrested in Florida is an illegal immigrant on food stamps. Isn't that great? And this is in Florida. A drug bust in the early hours of the morning nabbed a top leader of a heroin drug trafficking group in Polk County, Florida recently. While it didn't surprise many that the ringleader who was arrested is an illegal immigrant who is surprisingly was also receiving almost $900 a month, an illegal immigrant, in food stamps. He was a drug lord, and he was collecting food stamps. So there you go again. There's my tax dollars that I am paying out, not in this state, but I'm sure there's people like that in this state, who is an illegal immigrant collecting $900 a month in food stamps. Isn't that wonderful? So here's another one that just really got to me. I don't have anything against transgender at all. But I don't like it being shoved down my throat that I need to accommodate their wishes. That is not my responsibility. That's the bottom line. I am not going to pay for your fucking transgender operations and shit. I should not have to fucking pay for that. So anyway, there was a story, I think I found it, my friend found it, I don't know. Overpassforamerica.com. Liberals convince Texans to pay for the transgender inmate hormone therapy. Hashtag 04A, hashtag news, hashtag LGBT. This was on the 10th. So, in Texas, this man wanted he was getting his transgender operation and hormone therapy paid for. He's an inmate from the state of Texas, North Texas. Your tax dollars are going to pay for a Texas inmate to begin hormone therapy to manage intersex conditions and gender dysphoria. A new Texas Department of Criminal Justice policy change means prisoners, even those who have no previous treatments, can now receive hormone therapy. So they show it. So I guess if he gets hormone therapy, because they show a picture of the inmate, that I assume that he'll probably be transferred to a women's prison too. I'm sure of that. So how can I not be upset with that story? I'm not supposed to be, but no offense, it does kind of upset. It really irritates me, bullshit like that. So just to, you can't take back what you said when I said it. Well, I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not so close-minded like a lot of this bullshit that really goes on in real life. Because I'll let you know, for one thing, I did finally finish it. That's why I didn't hear about it today. You will never probably hear about it that much anymore. But I finally finished last night watching Glee. And I'm really upset now because the show was really good. Now, that show consisted on equal rights for gays, lesbians, and transgenders, and any other type of minority. So, but the way they did it was not offensive to me. And I easily get offended by everything. That show was just good for many other reasons. And, it gave you like a better outlook without shoving it down your fucking throat on what people go through if they are transgender. Because it was kind of funny. The one character who was known as the Beast, who was a transgender, he was actually, or she was actually a man, changed into a woman, who it was actually kind of weird because the very last season I thought there was 15 episodes, there was only 13. And technically it was only 12 because the 13th or 12th episode was actually a 2-hour special, which Netflix and the release of it was broken down to 2 separate episodes from its original 2-hour special that it was intended to be. It was knocked down to 2 45-minute episodes. So, that being said, they did cover a lot of that stuff. It was definitely very emotional. I'm going to be heartbroken now. I won't be able to watch the show without knowing already what happened or where it's going to go. And it kind of ruins it because these characters have changed so much. But they did a whole episode where the Beast, or Coach Beast, got an operation done. I think it was in season 6, where she always felt, which was kind of an irony because really she was a man who got transformed into a woman, but on the show she was already a woman getting the operation done to be transformed into a man, which is opposite from the real life actor who actually had the opposite done. So it was kind of funny knowing that this was the case, but the whole point was, and I know she when she got changed into a man on the show, the character got a lot of ridicule, and it was really upsetting to see it. And then they actually brought in a whole group just to make, Beast, who was now a man on the show, feel better, that they brought in, the Glee Club brought in a bunch of, to do one of the numbers, Glee numbers. I'm trying to think of the right word. A bunch of transgender people. And it was like, well, you know what? I personally don't have a problem. If I met a girl that was once a guy and I found her attractive, and I found that, like, well, wait, just let you know, at one point I was a man, now I'm a woman, I wouldn't care. I honestly would not fucking care. I wouldn't care if I met a black girl, a Latino woman, because a lot of them are on both nationalities or backgrounds, are a lot of those women are really, really hot. I don't care. And I don't care if you were, because I'll have a friend there say, well, there's still a man inside. Even if they changed their outer look, there's still a man inside. I don't care who they are. I'm not gay, but at the same time, if I find myself interested in a person, I don't care what they were or who they were. I just care about who they are now. So, the bottom line is I'm not judgmental as I might appear to be. So, and I find that just offensive. I find it more offensive when people make fun of people that change their sexuality or change their sexual preference. Because honestly, again, I'm not the one who's going to make a big fuss about it, but other people do, and then they try to make it out like that I am making a big fuss out of it. So that was the one thing I did like about, Glee, because it definitely did open up my mind, and it's funny because Sue Sylvester, the main character on the show, she's the woman, the actress in real life, she's gay. And she plays a straight-edge woman who, is conservative, but she's very hateful, which I know some people are saying, well, see, there you go, even Glee's about that. But honestly, when push came to shove, she was like the most caring, emotional woman. She just not know how to show her feelings. And I did have women that were lesbians on the show that were, neither conservative or leftist, or I'm trying to think, Democrats on the show, but they were also very, very hateful, kind of like a misanthrope kind of person. So, they didn't try to, and a lot of times the attacks that were on Glee were actually towards, believe it or not, towards the left side, which kind of shocked me. Not towards the right. There were actually digs towards the left, which I got to mention that too because I totally forgot now. There I go with the again. I actually have not watched anything else. I completely marathoned all the Glees. So I went back and was like, okay, there's that Girl Meets World TV show that's on Disney. And I haven't watched that for the past couple weeks because I just wanted to get done with Glee. I was like really getting into Glee. So there was an episode that I didn't watch. And that show, I'm just wondering, I don't hear much about it happening. But this is just my perspective that I've noticed that normally these shows that would be more liberal, especially in California, that they're so fed up with what is going on with, Obama and the left that they're getting tired of it. They're literally just getting tired of all the bullshit. And for some reason, it seems like a lot of these left, I'm not going to say conservative, these left libertarian people who make television shows and even probably movies are getting to the point, it's like, okay, you know what? We're tired of the bullshit. Yeah, we do believe in the left. We believe in socialism, but now we're getting to the point we're tired of where it's going, what direction, because we're not benefiting from it at all. And I'm seeing that more and more because here I'm watching Girl Meets World, which I always learn something from these kid shows. They made a statement with the teacher who used to be the main character as Corey, I think, from the original show called Boy Meets World. Now he's a school teacher. He was teaching the kids. I'm not even kidding. He was teaching the kids that because his daughter fell into the trap that, from somewhere she learned on this show, somewhere she learned that socialism is the way you want to go because it sounds so perfect. So her father, who's her school teacher, said he explained what socialism is, and he explained socialism so well that it's not what it's all cracked up to be. And in fact, socialism is an evil thing. It's not a good thing. And now this is on a kid's show that you would expect the opposite. You would expect them to show you, okay, well, socialism's good because this is the Disney Channel. They're showing this is a Disney show. They should be teaching people that socialism and Marxism, because he actually brought up about how Karl Marx, because she misunderstood his daughter, the character on the show, his daughter misunderstood. She thought Karl Marx was Groucho Marx. She thought that the left and communism meant that communism was good. And he says, well, communism is not good. Communism means that whatever you do or make changes in, you have to share with everyone else. And he explained that Karl Marx was a horrible person, not a good person. Now, this was on Boy Meets World. So, that being said, it was just like, wow. Literally, it was like that one commercial where these people say stuff and their minds get blown, like their brains get blown out. I forget what the commercial was. That's how I felt last night with watching, the rerun, whatever, because I pay for it. I didn't watch it yet, so it's not a rerun. Watching this with, about them explaining that basically they were staying on a Disney show, which you would think would be radically left. Well, maybe because honestly, Disney owns everything, and they would lose so much, these people, by believing in the left. By following these ridiculous, which they normally do, the beliefs on the left, that now they're realizing, well, wait a minute, actually, maybe we shouldn't be following the left. We should be following the conservative side, which is going to allow us to have more in our pockets, and that we're not getting everything. Because the whole gist of this 20-minute show of Girl Meets World was, listen, you can become a communist, you can become a Marxist, but you're going to be giving out your freedom because you got to basically look and act and think like each other. You don't think for yourself, because he basically bluntly put out that the country we live in is the free world, and you want to change that. His daughter, the character, he was trying to explain to his daughter, like, okay, you think communism is the best thing, but you're going to give up your freedom of choice, your belief to be different from everybody else, and whatever you make profit-wise, you have to share three ways, because his daughter had two other friends. And they were going with the belief that, yeah, communism is the way to go. We should share everything, even our letter grade. So her father/teacher said, okay, whatever they present, and I can't remember on this particular show of Boy Meets Girl, he says, for the effort you guys put in, you three of you kids, I'm going to give you an A. No, your work is A-level work, but since you believe in communism, I'm going to give you a C for each and every one of you. And he explained why. And this was a good example. The whole fucking show was great. He said, you would have gotten an A individually, but since you think on the Marxist level and the communist level, I'm only going to give you a C because as a whole, all three of you, which communism is everybody sharing amongst each other, you got an A. But since you do want to live in this communist belief, I'm giving you a C because A divided by 3 is a C. And it was like, wow, that is really powerful the way he instated the teacher/father. You couldn't explain it any better. And she got the gist. There was other things on that particular episode, which I can't remember the name of. It was like just last week or the week before that was on, that her father was trying to explain that sharing everything, he even explained, listen, if you believe in communism, you will never be able to succeed or become wealthy because everything you make wealth-wise gets divided behind the people who don't want to carry their weight. They actually said this on Girl Meets World. So it was like, wow. But this is the reason I still fall back on kid shows, because there is some hope. Unlike this one person that I'm looking at right now who sabotages everything I put on my Facebook if it's not in her belief, this person is obviously believes in communism, socialism, and Marxism, which I don't believe in. But my point is, I'm finding more and more TV shows, even movies, that you would expect would kind of fall on, in the category that they believe in the Marxist ways, in the socialism belief. But now that they realize that, wait, whatever we earn has to be shared amongst those who don't want to carry their weight. And this show actually, on every level of Girl Meets World, they made sure you understood what socialism really is all about. So, hey, that was really cool. And you know what? Even though I said probably at least 100 times this show, I am just really glad that I watched that show last night. And that being said, for those out there who have significant others, male, female, meaning like guy, girl, 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 guy, guy, transgender, I don't really care. I would like everyone to have a happy Valentine's Day, because right now I'm at the end of my show and I'm going to sign off. And if you listen, thank you so much. If not, try to get other people to suffer through my show. And thanks again. Happy Valentine's, and have a good evening on this Sunday evening. This is Walter from iWalter signing off for now.